This is part 13 of Angular 14 series. So in this session, we'll talk about the code management. So even though this topics is very big, but I'm trying to guide you with baby steps. Okay, so that we can understand the flow and how do we write the code so that code would be manageable and maintainable and also reusable. Always we need to remember the code writing is not a big deal. Big deal is to write the proper way code, okay, so that other developer can understand and also you know organization can benefit it from it, right? So if you write the code without following the basic rules, then maybe time will be required to understand for the next developer. So not to do that at all in your coding life. So that's what actually I thought this session would be very helpful for everyone. And also we'll learn the purpose of TypeScript, why we are going to use the TypeScript in Angular, and what is the benefit or how we are getting benefited from it. Okay, so let's get started. Flip to Visual Studio Code, and here in our example we'll see how many areas we can improve to modify the code. Okay, so first of all, I will go to the account from beginning, like from login page to the dashboard page. Okay, now let me open the browser. So in this example, let me go to that account component ts file. Here I can see no business logic has written. Okay, let it close it and go inside this pages and account. Now see here actually we are using some of the keys like username, remember me, and other stuffs like my token. So these are the key we are using to store data inside the browser storage, right? So on this key also would be required to fetch the information from the storage. So if we use this key, let me check this key how many times we are using here. Okay, so almost four results we found where we are using. So let's say this application, as we grow with this session, this application volume will be also big. So in that scenario, maybe this my token will be used in several other places, right? So in that scenario, what to do? So should we remember now every time the key name my token? It's not possible to remember every key, right? So better to keep all the keys in one place, and we will name it as something like constant, like app constant. And if we keep all the keys inside that constant, so it would be easy to remember that constant name. And if we use that constant name dot the property, which property I'm going to use, so that would be very easy for us. Okay, so for that reason actually I have now created one slide. So here first slide actually here it is saying keep all the constants in one file. So constant management, we I'm actually naming it as constant management. So here you can see the first example. See, export constant app constants. Instead of remembering all the keys separately, it would be better idea to remember app constants only, so that if we write app constant and then press dot, then all property available properties will be there and we can easily grab any of the property, right? So here the example you can see that app constants dot user code key. So this will help us to manage the code properly. Now let's convert this way our code. What I will do for that, let me minimize all the folders here, and I will create hold inside of this app constants. Okay, now here I would like to add app dot const dot ts file, and here I'll write export constant, and then and this would be an object, and here all keys and message and message I will keep inside this constant. Let me quickly check that part. Go to that login component ts file, and here I will use, let's say, remember me key, this one, and then my token key, the value would be this, and our username. Let's save this file, and I will use one index.ts file here, and from here export star from this constant file. Okay, why I have used this index.ts file, I'm just now explaining you here. Okay, now let me change this with app constants dot c, TypeScript actually giving our intelligence. So now I can use directly username, and then here also remember me, constant dot remember me, and here constant dot is called a token, my token key. Now next, now just save this and check whether everything is working fine or not. It is working fine. Now let me try to log in. B2E021. Let's see. Okay, now everything is coming properly. Now let me do logout. Yes, it is working fine as expected. Now we understood the what is the purpose to have the constant file, right? And now let's analyze other places. Are we using anything? Let me check my token. Are we using any other places? Yes, inside the dashboard component also we are using app constant. So see, moment I use this app constant, so you can see here app constant is imported from this folder, right? Folder, not this way. If I use this way also we can use, but uh, this folder, I mean that constant folder may have multiple constant files, right? So in that scenario, every time, suppose let's say if I have any other constant file, let's say message constant file, so every time what we need to do, every time we need to import with multiple lines for each file, right? So instead of doing or importing multiple files with different lines, we want to keep inside this one folder, so that any other file we use inside this constant folder, we can have this with comma separated what is called type, right? Like is Angular is using here. See, Angular core actually folder is having multiple, so many components, so many other files is there. So in that scenario, see, every time they're not importing line by line for each type, they're only simply it is appending with the comma. So similar way, so to achieve that, so index.ts file TypeScript by default it is pointing to the folder. So inside this index.ts file, if we export all the files inside this index.ts file, so that TypeScript will point to this constant directly, so that index.ts file will be available, and whatever files we are exporting, those files will be outside of the folder. Okay, so that is what actually we create the index.ts file. I guess you understood this one. So but if you have any other clarity you need, then please, don't forget to comment in the inside the comment box. Okay, now let's quickly use that. And any other places, check here. Auth service also is using constant, sorry, dot token is here, constants dot my token key. Let's save all the change and see everything is working fine or not. I guess it should work. Okay. Cool. So now next thing is, try to use proper data type for each property, right? Data type management. So this part we'll discuss in the upcoming session. So for that, stay tuned and be safe. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.